to you guys my 23 favorite books of 2023, people. Okay, I ain't gonna lie, I read a lot of books this year and I had a lot of ups and downs with these books, let me tell you. So I figured why not do a video and just talk to you guys. Since we were in 2023, I figured I would pick 23 favorite books that I love. These include 4 stars and 5-star reads. Anything below 4 stars, or yeah, anything below 4 stars, it was like meh. So I will not be mentioning those. We will be talking about all the 4 stars and 5 stars of 2023, and I cannot wait to share this with you guys. So without that being said, if you're new here, my name is Daya and I do lifestyle videos and vlogs for you guys. I am from Florida and I've lived here for about 5 years and I'm happily engaged, and I forgot to wear accessories and I shall be back. Hey, we're back. Sorry about that, guys. I forgot to put accessories, but we are back. I'm happily engaged and I live with Charlie, aka he's my fiance, but I call him my husband. What am I gonna say? I ain't gonna talk. Without that being said, I hope you guys love this channel. If you're new here, subscribe and like and comment, and without that being said, let's go ahead and get started. She is a moment. Look how beautiful this bow is. I'm a bow girly now. I'm gonna get real comfy now and we're gonna talk about all things books. First, 2023 book. They're not in kind of like any specific order from least to favorite. They're just randomly ordered. I technically went in order of the way I was reading them, although the last few ones that I put in the list, I did forget a few of them that I have read in the beginning. I have read more than 30 books, guys, this year, and that's amazing, and my goal is to read even more the next year, but obviously I want to be very in the moment, in the present next year as well. So just no judgment if I don't get to the goal that I want. If I want to read more than 30 books, it's fine. First book is 'Tis the Season for Revenge by Morgan Elizabeth. That book was my first Kindle read and I was obsessed. That's how I found my love for Morgan Elizabeth's book, because I have read more and I absolutely love her books, and I think I rated this 5 stars. This is a Christmas book and it's not YA, it's actually romantic and it's very spicy. Morgan Elizabeth is actually known for making her book very, very spicy, which I am a smut girly. I love smut books. I'm sorry, but it's just the way I like them. I don't know. This book brings a little bit of Legally Blonde vibes. It's about this girl that goes into full-on revenge with her ex-boyfriend that literally treated her like shit. Along this, she meets this guy and she decides to, I guess, date him, but at the same time it's part of his revenge. He does not know that he's part of the revenge, so technically that's how it starts, but it's really, really good and it kind of gives Legally Blonde vibes for sure. So yeah, it's technically like a one-night stand also. They get laid and things turn into a twist, and the guy, obviously he falls for her first, and it has a mix of friends with benefits, but he's the kind of friends with benefits that he's like, you cannot date any other guy, like you're just gonna date me, you know. She's spicy. The next one, oh my god, if you did not guess this, the next one is Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. I read this book in the beginning of this year and I rated it 5 stars, and then I reread it again like a month ago and I rated it 5 stars again. Hannah Grace is known for making her book couples with 0 miscommunication, and that absolutely is the way to my heart. Let's just work this out. Let's talk about it. Let's sit down and talk about what's going on, like the elephant in the room. Like, that is how she makes her couples and I absolutely love it. They're the cutest freaking couple. I would say it's YA, but at the same time it's not, because YA for me is high school and down, and this is like college romance type of thing, and it's a hockey romance because he is a hockey player and then she is a ice skater, so that's perfection. I love that book so much. If I had to rate it more than 5 stars, I would have been like 100 out of 10 or something. Next book is It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey. Oh my god, this book is, oh, I didn't say, but Icebreaker and this book, they are spicy, hella spicy. You will notice. Yeah, it literally starts extra spicy. The scenes in Icebreaker, the Uber scene, yeah, one day I'm gonna make that scene with my husband. It Happened One Summer has a lot of spiciness in this book. She's famous and he's not like into like girls like that are like famous, that all they think about is clout, you know. Like, I'd say he's a salesman because he works in like fishing and stuff like that. He's a captain. Brendan Piper. Together, spicy. Volcano. Yeah, this is my first ever book read from her. I love this book so much. I will say I read another book of hers and I did not like like it at all, which was her Christmas book that released a few weeks ago, like 2 months ago in October. It was Wreck the Halls. So I did not like that one, but this one she praised. She did everything that she needed to do and more. This one I actually rated it 5 stars actually. Spicy level 5 out of 5. Okay, this one is When in Rome by Sarah Adams. I absolutely love this. This is a shorter read. Her books are a little bit shorter, but they are everything you would want and more. You know, it's like that kind of book. Why is this so dark? Why are we getting darker and darker? Before I started reading this book, I literally thought this was in Rome, Italy. Like, okay, this is in Rome. No, this is in Rome, Kentucky, honey. This book was based off of Kentucky, not fried chicken. Okay, like the romance level, this is a romance book right up your alley. This is beautiful. The way he talks to her, the way he's so sweet with her. At first he's grumpy. He went from grumpy to sunshine, let me tell you. And she is a celebrity, of course, so she's just trying to get away, you know, from her celebrity. She just needs a break, a long break. She takes a break for like a few months, and she lands up in Rome, Kentucky. Guys, I'm gonna turn on the light because this is really upsetting me. She was watching Audrey Hepburn film and the Roman holiday one, and she was like, well, what's the closest Rome here in the United States? I don't want to go that far away for a break. Like, so that's how she ends up there, because of the movie that she saw of Audrey Hepburn. And she meets him. He is absolutely scary. She thinks he's scary, but he's just grumpy, and he's like, are you gonna get out of the car? Do we need me to help you? And she is like, no, I'm not gonna talk to you. I don't talk to strangers. Eventually she comes to her senses, and she gets off the car and she goes to his house because it was close by where her car broke down, and the rest is history. You already know. She took the leap of faith. It's beautiful. He's a baker. Their story is absolutely beautiful. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I rated this book 4.5. Yeah, I did. It was beautiful. I literally read the books in like 4 days. It was one of those fast-paced books. After that, I read The Infinity Between Us by N.S. Perkins. I remember reading this book and I rated it 5 stars. It was beautiful. It was really similar to Every Summer After. If you read that book by Carly Fortune, back then and before, it was like childhood friendship kind of book, and something went down in their past and they broke apart and they hadn't seen each other for years. So she comes back and she visits. The rest is history. It's romantic. It has spiciness, but it's not to like, I would say like a 2 out of 5 with spicy. Pedro, my camera died. Let's continue. So if I'm not mistaken, I rated this book 5 stars. It was absolutely beautiful. It's a very summery book, by the way. If you guys want the perfect summer book, this is one of them for sure. She was heartbroken and haunted by some memories like back then, so that's how they broke off, even their friendship. So yeah, at first she wants nothing to do with him, but Violet soon realizes that it's inevitable, and that the past she was running away from might actually hold the key to the love and the happiness she believed was stolen away from her 5 summers ago. I absolutely loved it. I had it in my list for so long, and I'm just so glad I read it. The next one is an actual heartbreaking book. This is 8,000 Boy Kisses by Tilly Cole. I have a perfect movie to describe it. I will say it 100 times. Is Walk to Remember. Really sad. It has a lot of sad memories. It's, I would say, YA, but at the same time, they are literally babies when they first start. Like, they're like 10 years old or something, and it's a very heartbreaking book. I heard there's another one coming out, or it's already out, book 2, and it's about her sister, the main character of the first book, her sister. I don't know. I'm intrigued to read that. It's about her sister and then his brother. I'm not ready to dive into there because I feel like I'm gonna be heartbroken. I'm just hoping it doesn't happen the whole thing over again, you know? That would be so hard. Like, harsh. I remember I didn't know what to rate this book. I was like, this book was so good, but I didn't know what to rate it, so I ended up rating it 5 stars. I was like, it was really good. It made me cry, but it was absolutely, the writing, everything, it was beautiful. And it was spicy, but since it's a YA book, they were able to manage it and just keep it appropriate scenes, you know? Okay, I'm really excited because I heard a lot of mixed reviews from this book. A lot of negative reviews, first of all, which is The Fine Print by Lauren Asher. When I read this book, as soon as I started, I was hooked on it. I was like, I love this. And I read book 1 and book 2, and I absolutely love them. It's based off of like a park, amusement park. It's very spicy. It's very spicy. It's about, the guy is her boss, and she's absolutely a sweet, sweet lady, and she is very cheerful, and he's like grumpy. He's like, get me out of this freaking girl. Like, I don't need someone like that in my life. She's too like giddy. Everything happens based off of the amusement park, which is where they work. It's called Dreamland, of course, close to Disneyland. I rated it 5 stars. I loved it since the beginning till the end. Love that in book 2, which we'll get there because that's one of my favorite ones. It just kept going. Like they're talked a little bit about them still, like even in book 2, which I love that. Next book, Practice Makes Perfect, Sarah Adams. This book is book 2 technically of the series. So she is the sister of Noah, which is the guy here. So that's his sister and Amelia's bodyguard. I like this book. Do I like this one more than When in Rome? I don't. I think this book, I rated it a 4 out of 5 stars. Oh, I rated it 4.5. Okay, now that I think about it, I would go back and rate it 4 out of 5 because I did not love the ending. I think the ending was way too fast-paced. They hadn't even been together for a whole year and something big happens, you know? I don't want to spoil it, but I did not love the ending. I thought the ending was way too quick. Is it spicy? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Bodyguard and a flower shop girly. He falls for her first. He's actually been an attraction for her since technically book 1. And they start as friends, you know. He starts teaching her about dating and all that stuff, and they end up being like a fake couple. But of course, in the end, someone ends up falling for her. My next one is The Fall of Bradley Reed by Morgan Elizabeth. This was one of her most recent new releases. I think this came out in the fall season, and as soon as it came out, I literally read it. I think I read it like a week after. I have not read any of her previous books, like in between Season for Revenge and The Fall of Bradley Reed. I haven't read any of those books, and I want to. That's one of my goals for next year. I absolutely love this book. If I'm not mistaken, I gave this book a 5 stars. I did. Perfect, like cozy fall book read you could possibly find. I loved it. It's basically about this girl that dates this guy, and he's like, I guess like in the mafia or something like that. He's like a drug dealer or something. He did something illegal, and there's this other guy that he is a private investigator, and he is investigating him just to try and catch him on the scene because it's not the first time he does illegal shit. He breaks up with her literally the day that they're gonna get married. He calls up the wedding. She's completely heartbroken at first, and then she's like, okay, I need to start googling ways to get over this guy, or like ways to find revenge for me to get this guy back. Yeah, honey, the only thing you don't know is that the private investigator is technically spying every single thing of her moves just to try and avoid to not get her in trouble, because if she did any little slightly shit that she was googling to do revenge, she could have ended up in jail with him. Private investigator comes in, you already know what happens, right? He tries to keep her out of it and ends up being his bodyguard, I think, at first, or something like that, and then they end up fake dating in between all that, and if I don't mistaken, more stuff happened. Like they slowly end up start to fall for each other, but it's absolutely beautiful. Yeah, absolutely beautiful. I was hooked on this book since the beginning. A lot of spicy, let me tell you. It is hella spicy. Like Morgan Elizabeth knows how to make her freaking books spicy. After that, we read Behind the Net by Stephanie Archer. I have heard amazing things of this author. She's small. I feel like she needs more hype. I only read this first book and I want to read more. By just reading this one, Behind the Net was written perfectly. No mistakes. First of all, I have found few mistakes on like other books, stuff like that, like in the writing. I'm like, huh, that word doesn't go there. No mistakes. For her to be a small author, she did her job right. The cover art is beautiful. It's like a hockey player. It's kind of similar to Icebreaker. As a hockey player, the only thing is the girl, technically the guy's dog babysitter, like dog sitter type of thing, but also she tries to keep him in his toes by cleaning and, you know, maintaining the house. She's technically like a housekeeper too at the same time. She's basically his assistant, but like he keeps like only in the house. So they used to go to college together, I think, or high school, and reconnect. And at first he treats her like shit because I think he's always had a thing for her, and when he finds out that she is his assistant, he's like, hell no, I don't want her. So he treats her like shit, but she really needs this job. Like it's technically like an internship, her position with being his assistant. So she's like, I really need this job, so you need to get your shit together and just treat me nicer. And I promise, like she was like, I won't mess up, I won't do anything. Is the kind of book that he falls for her first. Romantic. There's fake dating involved. I think I rated this a 5 star. No, I rated 4.5 out of 5. I love the ending. Next one is Terms and Conditions by Lauren Asher. Book 2 of The Fine Print. That's where I came from. Yeah, I told you guys that she was in this list. I loved book 2. The only thing is the guy in book 2, he is hella grumpy. He is so mean to this girl. Like, and she is literally trying her best to, it's like a fake marriage type of thing, but she wants him to get what he needs. You know, in order to get the inheritance from his grandfather. She literally goes to the ends of the earth just as long as he gets this, and he treats her like shit. Literally. That's the only thing I didn't like. Like, okay, fine, treat her like shit, like in the beginning, but literally throughout the pretty much like half of the book, and then he like realizes he's being super rude, but he's also falling for her. It has its cute moments, it has its spicy moments. It's really hilarious because I think throughout this whole entire book, everyone thinks that he is gay because he's never been with a girl or a boy. His whole entire family thinks that he does not like girls, that he likes boys or something, and he just has it as a deep secret. In reality, he's not, honey. Let me tell you. I think I rated this a 4 out of 5 stars. The thing I didn't like also was the ending. I thought it was too short and simple for me. I think that's why I rated it a 4 out of 5. After that, Wildfire by Hannah Grace came out, and I was like, se acabó todo esto. Drop what you're doing. Let's go get her. I got Wildfire by Hannah Grace, and I was hooked on it. I loved it. I remember when I first started reading it was when my whole entire family emergency with my grandma happened, so I had to take a break, and then I reread it again. I was like, let me restart this, and it was so cute. It's based off of summer camp. Really, like, it has the summer vibes for sure. I would read this more in the summer. I don't know why she wanted to bring this out in the fall season, which is when it came out. Hannah Grace did it with the miscommunication. Nothing. Zero miscommunication. They are both someone that since day one, they're like, please, let's just sit this down and just talk about whatever doubts we have, whatever thing we have going on. I love it. I feel like this is the cutest cover ever. It's a he falls for her first. He keeps his life, family life, very private because his dad is a gambler. He's got like a gambling addiction. And obviously she does not know it, so he's trying to protect her from that, so he doesn't want like anything serious. So they start like friends with benefits while they're in the summer camp. They are actually work there, and they cannot be together because of HR. Hello. No employees involved, please. But once she starts working, she doesn't realize that he is there too. So they go in like a one-night stand type of thing, and then they go off like weeks later. They have to go to the summer camp job, and then they end up working together. Yeah, honey. You technically get the gist. It was really, really cute. I loved it, and if I don't mistake, I rated this a 4 out of 5 stars. I loved it, right? I loved it. Did I give it too much hype for it to be 4 stars? I think I did. I had more expectations in the way that I just didn't love like the ending. I would have wanted like a more shocking ending. I thought the ending was a little, I guess, sweet and simple, I would call it. Still okay. I really liked it. After that, I dove into my first thriller book. I read The Housemaid by Frida McFadden, and this was my first ever book. I told myself if I'm diving into Frida, like any thriller books, it's gonna be Frida McFadden, because I've heard every single book blogger that I have and I follow, they all love her so much. She did not disappoint. This book had me putting, you know, like the okay, I'm only selling it stuff, but like the chalkboard with the nails, it literally had me doing that. Oh my god, I cringe. I hate that. I can hear the noise in my ears. That's why I'm cringing. It had me kneeling to my seat. It had me chewing my nails. It had me terrified. I love scary movies. I love horror movies, but there's a length. I need to be with someone watching movies. I need to watch this with Charlie. If I watch scary movies by myself, I'm like, nope, not watching. Reading a book, I think it's more scarier than actually watching a movie. Why is that? It's because the descriptions, the suspense, it's like intense. I am literally sweating by just talking about her book. The plot twist, to kind of like put this story short and simple, it's about this lady that she decides to be a maid. She was in jail, and then she got out of jail and she wants to start from scratch her life. She becomes a maid and like a housekeeper of this couple that have a child. I'm not gonna say beautiful because she was a brat, let me tell you, but she is this child that they have, and she has to take care of her and like get stuff done around the house, right? So they hire her and they're like, you need to stay in the house, like you need to, that's where you're gonna sleep. They have her sleep like in a basement. As soon as they tell her, like as soon as she walks in that basement, she realizes that the knob of the door, the lock, is on the outside of the room. It's like they can lock her inside there for days. So she instantly thinks that's creepy AF. Yeah, I would think it's creepy AF too. So that's the first thing that happens. That's the only hint I'm giving you guys. after that it starts getting creepier. She first started thinking that his wife is completely lunatic, she's crazy, but then there's a huge big AF plot twist. I did not see that coming at all. Honestly, it terrified me even more, to the point where I was like, oh my god, you can't trust anybody, you know, like it's to that point. This book was a 5 out of 5 star. I think I rated it 4.5. It's still really good. The ending was really confusing for me, but obviously it leaves it as a cliffhanger because it's a book 2, which I haven't read, so I think that's why I was like not hooked up on the ending, because it was really confusing for me. Then after that I was like, hey, it's time for me to read a rodeo kind of book. I would love to read like a country style. I got into Done and Dusted by Lila Sage, and I rated this book 5 out of 5 stars. This book did everything to me and more. She was a bull rider. Was it a bull rider? She was a horseback rider. Oh my god, bull rider. Sorry guys, I'm gonna get comfortable because I'm tired. Technically she has a really bad accident while she's competing. She's been a horseback rider for the longest time, and then she has a really nasty fall in one of her competitions, and she takes a break, so she goes back to her hometown. She takes a really long break, but in reality she's just not sure if she wants to get back on competing or if she wants to do something else. The whole book is of her figuring what her next move will be now that she's back home. You kind of feel like she wants to stay, you know, and like permanently, but she's also like a little iffy about it. And in between all of this, of course, there was romance involved. Her brother has a best friend, and he is kind of like a grumpy sunshine kind of book story, because he has always been like a little rude to his sister, aka the main character. I don't know what was that, guys. I absolutely loved it. First, it was a little bit of a slow paced for me, like the first 2 to 3 chapters. It's spicy. When it gets spicy, it's spicy. Yeah, let me tell you, it was very spicy, and it's really cute. But you already know, it's a brother's best friend kind of love story. It's really cute, and I rated it 5 out of 5 stars. And for it to be my first country style book, it was really good. It like did everything and more. You already know what I'm gonna say. This book, I did not put it in my book, how to call it, in my book highlights in my Instagram, because like one of my first book, also like my book reads from when I first got my Kindle. So I also read A Partridge and a Pregnancy by Debney Perry. I remember, and I think I read it and I like shared it in my Instagram, but at the same time I did not. This is like my Goodreads. I need to update my Goodreads because she needs to be a little revamped. But this was one of the books that I read, and I remember when I read her, I was like hooked on it, and I rated it a 4 out of 5 stars. I was really good. It says, there's a lot of places I'd rather spend Christmas Eve morning than on a cold, snowy sidewalk outside someone else's home. Instead, I'm here standing in front of one night stand's house, working up the courage to ring the doorbell and tell him I'm pregnant. He's handsome and caring, witty and charismatic, and once, a long time ago, he was mine. Our one night reunion was only supposed to be a hookup, a fling with an old lover, a parting farewell before I moved to London and put my feelings for him on ocean away. How exactly am I supposed to explain that to Tobias? I'm having a baby, his baby. Maybe I could sing it. He always loved the Steely songs I made up in the shower. 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pregnancy. I literally read the last. This is a series, guys, and if I don't mistaken, this is book 3. I started this so wrong. But the good thing is that it's a standalone series that you can read any. It doesn't have to be in chronological order or anything like that. It can be like whatever book. If you want to read book 3, you won't get confused. It was very funny as well. She is very funny. After that, we have Window Shopping by Tessa Bailey. Now that I think about it, I thought It Happened One Summer was my first book read from her, but it wasn't. I read Window Shopping and I totally forgot that this was by Tessa Bailey. I just dialed my grandma. Dude, like, what am I doing? So yeah, I remember I read this book and I was like, the book was slow paced in the beginning, I ain't gonna lie. I rated this book 4.3 out of 5, I think it was. 4.2 out of 5 stars. It's not part of a series, it's actually a book. It's just a book. But it says, a sizzling, standalone, feel-good opposites attract holiday romance. 2 weeks before Christmas and all through Manhattan, it's actually based in New York. Shop windows are decorated in red and green satin. Stella's standing alone outside a famous department store when a charming man asks her opinion on the decor. So that charming man ends up being her boss, because he asked for his opinion on the window shopping. He asked for her opinion, and she's like, this mannequin was absolutely horrendous, like it's disgusting or ugly or whatever. Literally talks the worst out of the window. Then she applies for the job inside of the store, does not realize that when she comes for the interview, the owner of the store is the guy that she is trying to get the job for. Like, that's his boss. He finds something in her that he wants to hire her and give her a chance, an opportunity to revamp the mannequin. So he's like, I want you to create this mannequin, specifically like something that people will love by Christmas Day. That was something that if she didn't do that, if she didn't commit and did it right, the store was gonna close down. So her job was on her hands, basically. Something happens, they have a rekindling beautiful moment, and you know what happens next. Is it spicy like 5 out of 5? No, it's probably like 2 or 3 out of 5 stars, but it was a really good book, and I remember I rated it 4.2 out of 5 stars. I don't think I ever like focused about when I first read it that Tessa Bailey was the one that actually wrote Window Shopping, and then I didn't realize it until now because I totally forgot that this was not the first book I read. We hit it off and we got the next book, which is Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score. I remember I read this book in the beginning of the year. This was a Kindle read because I remember if I would have seen that book, the weight, how thick it is, I would have been like, nope, I am not reading that. If I saw it in person, I would have been like, nope, count me out, because this was the first, like in the beginning of the year, I was still hopping in the book love, and I would have probably gotten a little scared. I would have been like, no thank you. This book was beautiful. I think I rated it 5 out of 5 stars. I think I just read, like, I shared when I was reading it, like a chapter or something, but I never rated it with you guys. It's like slow paced, but it's a really, really good slow pace. It's very spicy. They're technically like in a fake romance type of thing, and he is a grumpy guy and she's a sunshine girl. Grumpy sunshine. Small town romance as well, and she has a sister that she has to take care of. Her sister is like not doing great, she's doing illegal shit, and she has to take care of her niece, so she technically falls in love, como quien dice, like with her niece, to the point where she wants to keep her full-time. She wants to be her mom. It has a really beautiful storyline, but in between all of this, she needs to stay in that small town for a while just to find out what her sister did and what was going on, and she ends up meeting this guy, and he is grumpy as hell, but he is intense in the bed, let me tell you. The scenes, the spicy scenes, I was like, wow, like, dude. The next book is The Christmas Fix by Lucy Score. She also wrote this book. This book came out a few months ago. I think it was in October. It literally says she's going to save Christmas just to spite him. She's famous. The guy is the mayor of a small town and very Christmassy. Definitely felt this Christmas flutters. This book, the amount of spiciness that this book have, guys, I was utterly in shock. It was a 5 out of 5 stars, but the alley scene, it just came out of nowhere. I was not expecting it. And then he's a single dad, of course, so it's really cute. She is famous with a kind of like a fixer-upper kind of TV show. She remodels homes, and she wanted to go big or go home, so she wanted to remodel his whole entire town by Christmas. Literally, she only has like, I think a month or like a few weeks to, I know that's impossible, but obviously it's a book. So the book is absolutely beautiful. Like the cover, I would have wished there was a little bit more of an oomph with her cover, because I love Things We Never Got Over, like their covers, the whole entire series. I love every single cover of those. For it to be 5 stars, I don't love the cover. I'm like, it's cute. I love the ending. Lengthy, you know, it was like a long ending, which is what I love about this specific author. I love that she makes her books like that. Like her endings are beautiful. The Mistletoe Bed by Marion Moore. This book was a small book, but it was definitely, I think it was a 4.5 out of 5 stars for me. She was intense. Yeah, it was a 4.5. It was more on the short side, but it also had like cute, it was like cute small town romance kind of book. And for it to be a small romance, I think the reason why I rated it 4.5 and not 5 out of 5 is because I would have wished that the end, like, it had more of an extension. For it to be a really good book, I thought the spicy was good. It was really, really spicy. Like 5 out of 5. It was spicy. They were like friends with benefits kind of thing, because she was only on vacation in her hometown, and she was not in the mindset of I'm staying here forever. No, she only went to visit for Christmas. She rekindles with this guy she used to know, best friends with, and then they become friends with benefits. He falls for her first. He's always been in love with her technically, but some stuff happened to her in New York, which is where she's permanently living, that I just would have wished that they would have gone into details with. I think that's why I rated it 4.5 out of 5 stars. So it was really good though. It was still good. After that, we read Taste the Damn Season by Kimi Freeman. Now, this is not Taste the Season for Revenge. This is Taste the Damn Season by Kimi Freeman. This book, I think, is her first ever book that she's ever written, and it's a really good book. It's a very, really good reading. It's like a contemporary romance, and it has YA parts, I would say. It's not super spicy. I'm gonna say it's a YA romance because the chapters are based off of like in the past and the present, but the past is YA and the present is like they're adults. So she is famous, he is not. He's just a typical guy that she grew up with in her small town. So that's where the small town romance comes from. They used to be together in high school, and then they broke it off when she moved to LA to just experience more and becoming like a better, like she wanted to be a singer, she wanted to be famous, so she moved to LA and they broke it off. And then every time she came to visit, they would always have like a friends with benefits kind of thing. So it's really cute. She really wrote this book really good. I love the chapters. They have a lot of Taylor Swift phrases, and I did not think that I would know so many phrases from Taylor Swift songs, but they are. He is actually Hispanic in the book, so that's pretty cool. After that, Along Came Holly by Cody Hall. This book is funny. I was laughing out loud with this book. I was shocked that I was laughing out loud. This book is so beautiful, so cute. I don't know why there's a book. Why is there a dog in this cover? Explain to me, because there's supposed to be a cat, not a dog. He has a cat and an cutest kitten ever, but I don't know why there's a, if that's a cat, that's concerning because that's not. But technically we both own a store, which I get why they have the little store. Like, I love the cover. The cover's perfect. Her name's Holly, of course. Holly Jolly Christmas. And then his name is Declan, and it's like a grumpy sunshine kind of book as well, and it's based off a small town romance, even though it has some parts that are based off of New York, Idaho. It's based off of Idaho, actually, not New York. The town is called Mistletoe, Idaho. It's really funny. They are technically like pranking each other. It's to that point. He absolutely detests Christmas, and she is a whole holly jolly girl, and she starts pranking him, and she decks out his place. She breaks in and she decorates his place of Christmas and then he ends up entering this Christmas contest. Before he even saw that she had pranked him with the whole Christmas display, he had already entered the Christmas contest. So it came out in the news. He was like, what? That's not my window shop. Yes, it is, sir. She just pranked you. So that's how everything starts, and then they start like a whole prank wars, and it's really cute, and they both start falling for each other at the same time. Technically, like he falls for her first or she falls for him first. It's like both ways at the same time, and it's really cute. Loved it, and I actually laughed in a lot of parts. Like, it was actually funny, and I very rarely laugh with books that are like actually funny. I'm like, that's cute. I just smile, giggle, or laugh. I was literally laughing. If I'm not mistaken, this book, I rated it 4 out of 5 stars. It was really cute. I will say it was slow paced a little bit in the beginning, and I think that's why I rated it 4 out of 5 stars. There were some parts that I had to skip through it because I was like, okay, I don't need to know that. After that, I was like, okay, it's getting interesting. Also, I didn't say, but "'Tis the Damn Season" by Kimi Freeman, I rated that one a 4 out of 5 stars. After that, I read Twisted Love by Anna Huang. I've had this book for the longest time. It's in my bedroom and I'm so comfortable right now. I don't want to move, so we're gonna just put a picture here. I love that book so much. He is her, I guess, her bodyguard, but at the same time he's not, because her brother goes out of town and he's like, bro, you need to take care of my sister, and you know where it all goes, like where it begins, right? So he's like, I'm not taking care of your sister. He ends up taking care of his sister. His sister is not little, she's literally in college, so she's a photographer, and not like she likes to get herself into trouble, but it's something like that where he has to actually, he is on to her every move. So as soon as any little shit that she does wrong, he's like, I'm there to protect you. It's very 50 Shades. It's very spicy. It's very 50 Shades when they're in their intimate moment, because he is a little bit triggered. He does not want to fall in love because of something that he's set in stone to get revenge from his family that actually were killed when he was younger. So he's like, I don't need to fall in love, I don't need to do this, I need to do my revenge. Very focused on that. I rated this book a 5 out of 5 stars. I think it was really good, guys. I absolutely loved it. I love the ending. I love that what happened to them, it was, I don't want to spoil it, but I love that what happened to them them towards the end, it was lengthening, like what happened to them. I don't know how to describe it. I just don't want to spoil it. Last but not least, this book stole my heart. This book was a 5-star for me, and I completely almost forgot about this book, and I'm really glad that I actually remembered at the perfect timing, because I was like, I'm leaving the best for last, because I loved Icebreaker, but this book was so sentimental. Other than 1,000 Boy Kisses, this was a book that absolutely made me cry happy tears. This is One Italian Summer by Rebecca Sorrell. I don't know if it's because of how close she was with her mom when she passed away. She saves this trip before they pass away. She saves this trip for like a few years later to go with her mom to Italy, and she completely forgot about it, and her mom had already passed away. So she decides, she's in this rough relationship with this guy, and she's like, I'm just gonna go to Italy by myself. So they take a break. She goes to Italy and she falls in love. It has a little bit of fantasy in it, because technically she's brought to the past, and she meets her mom in Italy when she was younger. It was beautiful, guys. I don't know how to describe it, but something happened that she went back to the past and she met her mom. You know, so it's like a little magic. It's a little bit of fantasy. This book, I bought it in New York. So this book is gonna stay forever, and I'm glad I bought it in New York because she is beautiful. However, because I bought this book after I finished reading it, that's when I was like, I need to read another Italy book. So that's why I thought When in Rome was in Italy because of this book. I don't remember very well, but something happens and while she's in Italy and she falls in love with this guy. How do you describe it? She meets her mom on her younger age. She relives how she used to be her mom. It's absolutely beautiful. At one point, it's come to the part where obviously everything has come to the end. Like out of nowhere, like her mom's gone. She wakes up from this dream from Italy, and when she's in the past, she falls in love with this guy. I don't remember how it ends, if she ends up with the guy or not. It's a little bit spicy. I would say like 2 out of 5 stars. This book made me, I guess, mentally fall in love. Positano, like Italy, Positano. I'm like, I want to be there. One day my dream is to go to Italy and visit Positano. I remember I read this book 5 out of 5 stars, and I absolutely loved it. Beautiful. It gave everything you could possibly want and more. That is 23 books that I love in 2023. Cannot wait for this brand new journey that I have in 2024 with reading. Without that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys love these books. Let me know in the comments if you guys have read any of these books. If you guys love them, if you guys don't, please let me know, and don't feel bad if you guys don't love any of these books. Please just let me know. I would love to know your opinion, you know. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and turn the post notification bell on so you guys can be notified every time I post a video. And without that being said, I will see you all in my next one. Adios.